I think a soup's Shazam sandwich would be a lot of. Wait, who's in the middle of that sandwich?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Wait, for real?
Say it!
Okay! Shazam?
Let's go back to that moment when the studio or your agent, I don't know, called you and said, Zachary, you got the job, you're playing Shazam. What was the feeling and what was the first thing you did after that? Call your friends, have a drink?
So I found out David F. Sandberg, our director. I had my final audition, my screen test on a Thursday, and then the next day, Friday, I got up, went to the gym with my buddy Eric, and we were just working out. And I got a phone call, and David said, "Hey, it's David," and I just wanted to be the first to tell you that welcome aboard. You're my Shazam. And I said, "Thank you very much, sir. If you don't mind, I need to get back to the bench press because
No way.
I gotta go make this movie in 3 months." And I felt very at peace. It wasn't like, oh my, it wasn't one of those, because the whole process leading up to it was a very kind of magical and surreal experience. But I was super, super humbled and grateful in that moment. And then I called my sister and I told her, and I said, but don't tell anybody. Or I might have texted my two sisters. I said, but don't say anything yet. And then 5 minutes later, the whole thing broke. So they were waiting, like the Hollywood Reporter or whatever was just waiting for their, to finally say, boom. And then they're like, boom, there you go. There's the casting news. 5 minutes after I got told, which actually made it easy for me, because then I didn't have to tell anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be like, so here's the good news. Everybody was just hitting me with like congratulations texts. I was like, wow, this is dreamy.
Incredible.
The movie was really funny.
Thanks.
I loved it, but
Thanks.
we are also very, very curious about a second part.
A sequel? Yeah. The sequel's been announced. Henry Gayden, our incredible writer, he, as far as I know, it was announced even a couple of months ago that the studio's already activated him to write the sequel, and I've had a few conversations with Walter Mata, that's at DC now, was at New Line, and everybody involved, Peter Safran, the producer. It's green light to start making this thing. Everybody wants to make another one, and which is so awesome. Like the role is so fun that I get to be a kid again.
Yeah.
As a 38-year-old man, I get to play a 14-year-old. It's the grooviest, silliest, most fun, like to tap into the inner child in me and that we all have. Because that's really what the movie's about, right? It's like, It's about family, and it's about wish fulfillments. All of us as little kids wishing that we could be a superhero. Still now, I still hold out hope that I'm going to wake up one morning and my chromosomes have mutated and I'll be able to teleport or, throw the fire out of my hands. That could get destructive. I don't know that I want that. Really. The learning curve on that is just a lot of arson, and I don't need to be involved.
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
But yeah, I don't know. It's such a magical world that I get to play in, and I just get to be the big kid that I am, which is so dreamy. And the second one, I don't know when exactly we're going to get into. I don't know exactly what the story is going to be or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm sure as soon as anyone's allowed to tell you anything, you'll know.
Do you have a wish for a storyline that you would do in the movie? Something you...
Well, we shot the first one in Toronto, Canada, in the middle of winter. And that was really, really, really cold. So at the very least, I think we should shoot this next one in like Hawaii. I think that would be a great, with like a short sleeve, board short version of the super suit. Like still with the lightning bolt, like definitely with the bolt and a little bit of a cape. It's more of a towel, you know what I mean? It's like it's become a towel.
Yeah.
And Shazam's more just like, he's like, sir. I just don't want to freeze to death in Toronto. That's all I'm trying to say.
Or maybe he's traveling to Cologne. You do
Maybe
something
he
in the
travels to
summer
Cologne.
at the Rhine. I don't know.
Yeah, then I'd melt. This is unbelievable, this weather.
In your opinion, which DC hero should team up with Shazam?
I mean, all of them? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like the comic books have laid out. I mean, there's so many different cool partnerships and team ups and things, but I think a Soups Shazam sandwich would be a lot of. Wait, who's in the middle of that sandwich? No, I mean not sandwich.
We're in
Mashup,
Germany.
mashup,
It's okay.
mashup. Oh, that's right. Yeah, lost in translation anyway. Yeah, no, I think Superman and Shazam would be a really cool team up, right?
Why?
Like, cause at first I'd want to see them fight each other, and then they're like, okay, we're evenly matched, even though I'm technically magic and stronger. Anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. This isn't I don't want to get into a fight about who's stronger between Shazam and Superman, guys. I'm not gonna do it. That's great artwork, by the way. It's Kim, right? I think her name is Kim. Yeah, that's Kim. Kim with the pink hair. That's such great art, darling. Seriously. Anyway. I hope it made it on screen. It could have been live streamed all over the world.
Yeah. There it is.
There it is. Yeah, Kim, hold that up again. Hold it up for the camera.
Halt es nochmal
There you
hoch.
go. There you go.
Da
There you go.
ist
Yeah,
es.
zoom in. We got a beam right in the middle of it. She literally.
Yes,
There you go. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. She took 4 pictures of me of like different roles and just like incredible, like really detailed, beautiful drawing. Anyway, what were we talking about before that? Shazam in Hawaii. That's right. That's right. Towel instead of.
But is it? You're so cool with the fans. Is it also like a big part that you wish for on these events to get in touch with the fans?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I was saying before, schmuckos like me only get to do what we do because we have people that believe in us and support us and spend a lot of time and money and energy going and supporting us at movie theaters or even at home watching television shows. Any of that, any of the art that any artist gets to create, we are at the mercy of the patrons of the art. So if you don't respect that relationship, I think you're doing everyone a disservice. And I'm very grateful that, like I said, that I get to be in places like this and do what I get to do, which is what I've always dreamt of getting to do. But then beyond that, I mean, really kind of underneath everything, I think every day, and no matter what our job is, we have an opportunity to love people. And I'm so grateful that I literally just sit at a table and lovely people like this pay me very good money to scribble on pictures of myself. It's the weirdest job, and it's the coolest job. And I love that in that moment, not only do we have an exchange of something that hopefully is going to bring them joy and happiness, but that I get to be a steward of that I get to be a conduit of love and light, and I mean, I think it's the coolest.
Hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
Yes,
My life
I
is
can
so
imagine.
Cool.
Yeah. Is there a certain fan moment that you want to share with us that you experienced here?
Well, at a CCXP specifically, which is the only other one that I've been to, but there was a really lovely moment with this little girl who had drawn a picture of Shazam meeting Jesus, and it was so adorable. It was so adorable, and it was at the end of the first day there, and I was kind of looking through some of the fan art and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And so I pulled out my phone and I took a picture and I put it on Instagram. Well, then like the next day, I was meeting some fans out at some barricades, and one of the owners, I believe, one of the guys who owns and runs CCXP, he goes, "Hey, Zach, this is the little girl who drew that picture." And she ran up and she bear hugged me and was crying. And then I was trying to console her and hope that she wouldn't cry. And then she kind of backed up and then she ran up and grabbed me again. She was crying. And then I started crying.
Oh,
and then there was a lot of crying. But it was like good crying, It was like, wow, we're alive. And like, this little girl is that I represent anything at all in her life that brings her that kind of, I don't know, safety or power or love or protect, whatever that is, I just think that's such a cool honor, Like, to quote the other superhero that's in a different universe, but I think probably the most like Billy Batson, with great, or rather his uncle, with great power comes great responsibility,
With great power comes great responsibility.
And I think that I've been given such an incredible platform and privilege, and with that comes power, and you can wield that for good in the world, or you can, not. And I think that was just a really awesome fan moment that distills it all down into like the purest form of what it is. It's like it's love.
Your phone's charged. Your phone's charged.
The hell?